Guys, Chief High Smoke back to you with another one. And breaking news out of Cincinnati. Trey Hendrickson has just signed his contract. It's a 3-year deal, 120 million, 80 million in guaranteed money. Basically a 2-year deal for $80 million. And Trey Hendrickson finally gets paid and ends the ugly holdout. And you saw him go to the media at that mini camp, the Bengals mini camp, and it got ugly. I mean, he held a about an hour interview for the media and answered every single question. You never really see a player do that during contract negotiations, and it took T.J. Watt to get paid, and Shamar Stewart to get his second round guaranteed deal for this deal to get done. The Bengals are a team not known to give out a lot of guaranteed money. So they really hold out, really hold back in giving that money away. They don't really have a GM. Their owner is the GM basically. It's kind of like a Jerry Jones situation in Dallas. But it took a while to get T Higgins paid. It took a while to get Jamar Chase paid. But this is a team that has the highest paid second wide receiver in the league. And I know T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, they took this team to a Super Bowl a few years back. But ever since that AFC Championship game where they beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead and started calling Arrowhead Burrowhead, where have the Bengals gone? Their offensive line is terrible. Joe Burrow is constantly getting sacked, and they're always a team people are giving a lot of hype around. In my opinion, the Bengals are the most overrated team in the NFL, and that's not a hot take at all. I mean, this team has not done anything for a long period of time. They were a couple plays away from winning that Super Bowl against the Rams, and really that Super Bowl was up for grabs, right? You had the Chiefs really blow a 21 to 3 lead in that AFC Championship game to the Bengals, and a game that kind of still haunts me to this day. I mean, Pat's had a few of those, had some bad games in the Super Bowl, that's for sure, but it's really the games to get to the Super Bowl that you always remember. The AFC Championship game against the Patriots, and then that game against the Bengals too as well. And at that point in time, you thought Joe Burrow was gonna Joe Cool, he was gonna take over, and it was gonna be his time. He was gonna start winning some Super Bowls. But now you can kind of compare him to a Dan Marino, a guy that got to the Super Bowl early in his career, but is never going to get back. And it's because they can't protect him. And it's because, they don't know when to sign some of their best players on defense. Hendrickson, 17 and a half sacks back to back seasons. I mean, this guy led the league in sacks in 2024. So they should have paid him a long time ago. And I'm sure if they would have just paid him before TJ Watt or Miles Garrett, then they probably could have saved at least 20 million in guaranteed money, or maybe 15 in guaranteed, taking this to like a 3-year, $100 million deal, maybe 65 million in guarantees. Yeah, man, they really screwed this up. Waiting and procrastinating this uh, this contract. And let's be honest here. This team is one of those teams that, yeah, they're going to win some big games. And what they do is they beat the Bills, or they'll beat the Eagles, they'll beat the 49ers. And they'll beat these teams that have a great chance of getting to the Super Bowl, but then they'll lose to the Jaguars, or they'll lose to the Giants, or they'll lose to the Jets. And that's basically Burrow. I put that on Burrow, and I put that on the coach, the head coach. I can't even think of his name. But Burrow won at LSU. The red flags about him was he quit at Ohio State. He didn't want to stick it out there. So he went to LSU. and played pretty well the years he was there. So I'll give him credit. But he seems like just like a soft spoken guy to me that really doesn't get fired up at all. Maybe football's not important to Joe Burrow, really. He really just kind of takes the losses as it's not really important to him. Uh, Jamar Chase, probably the biggest diva in the NFL. If he doesn't get his way, he's going to yell and scream. I remember against the Chiefs, he got a penalty again. Uh, it was like an unsportsmanlike penalty. Joe Burrow was having to hold him back. Really probably lost them the game. I'm not sure if that was against the Chiefs or somebody else, but then they're paying T. Higgins, the second their second wide receiver, first wide receiver money. You gotta be kidding me. Instead of protecting Joe Burrow, you're gonna give T. Higgins money? I would have let him walk. I'd have said, sorry, T. We got Jamar Chase. We can go draft a guy, find a guy in the draft. So they're paying T. Higgins and they're paying Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow big money. So how in the hell are they going to protect Joe Burrow? It doesn't make any sense to me. And now they've signed Hendrickson. They got him wrapped up for 2 more years, 80 million guaranteed. So this team is a mess. I believe Mike Brown is the owner. I think that's his name. He's also the GM because who's ever the GM in Cincinnati is a puppet for that owner. And yeah, I don't. It's either I'm not sure who owns it. It's Haslam or Mike Brown, one of the two. I'm not sure. I gotta check it out. Not off the top of my head, but this team, I did think had high expectations. I thought that they were going to be the team to compete with the Chiefs for about the next decade, right after that AFC Championship game. And they were calling Arrowhead, Burrowhead. That point in time, it was a low point. Really was a low point. We were going for a repeat at that point, and yeah, the Bengals did their job, and they beat us in an AFC Championship game. Can't take that away from them, but what have they done since then? Somebody answer me that question. Why is there any hype around the Cincinnati Bengals? There shouldn't be. There should be more hype around the Dallas Cowboys, and I get that, but there should be no hype around the Bengals. Of course, Jamar Chase is going to lead the league in receiving, but the team's also going to go 8-9. They're going to beat, like I said, they're going to beat the Buffalo Bills. They're going to beat the Eagles. They might even beat the Chiefs, but they're going to lose to the Jaguars. They're going to lose to the Jets, Panthers, teams that they should just kill. And it's always been like that, right? Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Trey Hendrickson signs a 3-year, $120 million deal, $80 million in guaranteed money. Breaking news. You heard it here first.